Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been a couple days since I have uploaded, and the reason for that was because I was going crazy doing shows and traveling all around, and I'm gonna be honest, it really wore me down a little bit. However, in a couple hours I'm flying to London and I'm gonna be reunited with my dogs, I'm gonna be reunited with my family, and I'm really excited. Anyways, just to get into the video, oh my god, also, guess who I met yesterday? I could cry thinking about it. I met Miley Cyrus yesterday. I cannot stop thinking about it. Like that to me now is just like, I feel like I have met every single celebrity that like I would want to meet, which is so crazy. Like I've met, Selena, I've met Miley, I've met Ariana, I met Mariah, and I just honestly feel like any other, like, I feel like they're my main core celebrities. Oh my god, I can't believe it. But anyways, for today's video, for my first one back, I really just want to talk about what has been going on in the online world, and I find really interesting. And also, I just think with the current conversation going on, I think I want to have this. Now, I'm going to start this conversation with saying that this is going to piss people off. And I know that it's probably going to piss off a lot of people that watch my videos, and I hope you know that that is not my intention. I also hope you know that I'm trying to convey what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to convey my feelings with this, but it may get a little bit misinterpreted or may come across how I don't intend for it. So I do just kind of want to say that at the start of the video. And I'm always willing to have an open conversation with whoever may disagree with me. But this is something that I truly am feeling so deeply about. And I want to talk today about JoJo Siwa and the artist Fletcher. Now, the artist Fletcher is what we have been told up until this day. I guess the entire, Fletcher brand, Fletcher's been very open about being a queer artist. And I would say a majority, if not all, of Fletcher's audience are predominantly queer people. It's a safe space. It's a place where they can identify the music they identify with. They can see themselves in Fletcher. And then we go over to JoJo Siwa. JoJo Siwa, a very outspoken person for the LGBTQ plus community. And as, she has so eloquently said it herself, the CEO of gay pop. As much as I want to make fun of that, it's important for the context of today's conversation. Now, with both of these people, with JoJo, who has performed at every Pride, and has made, gay culture and the gay community a big part of her brand and rebrand. And that's not a controversial thing to say. She has leaned into the gay marketing for her new brand. Don't hate me for that. That is true, okay? And with Fletcher as well, I think a big identifying part which really catapulted Fletcher's career was, Fletcher's queer identity that a lot of queer people saw themselves in. And I think having a community and identifying with an artist is incredibly valuable to people. And people did that with both Fletcher and JoJo Siwa, believe it or not. Now, within the last couple weeks, there's been obviously big updates with JoJo Siwa that we're aware. Now, there's also just been one with Fletcher. So Fletcher has now came out with this rebrand, which is talking about her new song is called Boy. Fletcher's new song is called Boy, right? And so I have a lot of thoughts about this. Number one, so she had posted on her social media like new song coming tomorrow, and it was like a new video, and it looked very different core from what Fletcher's fans are used to, and all the comments were like, are we about to enter a straight era? And ultimately, yes, we are entering a straight Fletcher era. And the song is called Boy, and the entire song premise is that Fletcher, who, always spoke mainly about, getting with women or queer people, is kissed a boy and really liked it. That's like that Katy Perry song. Kissed a boy and really liked it, and is so scared for us to know that she, now is in this relationship with the boy. And with JoJo Siwa, obviously this Chris Hughes relationship has been all over our fucking timelines and is being forced down our throat. I mean, when they were on the show, they were getting really close, but now it's like this really weird PR where JoJo and Chris Hughes are posting photos of each other, like, shirtless in bed, cuddling each other, where JoJo looks like the child that Chris has just given birth to. And, you know, JoJo is now leaning into this. She's now in her straight era, right? Now, I just want to clarify first and foremost that that sexuality is fluid. And I am very aware of that. And by the way, even though I think bisexual men are evil, and they've always done me wrong, bisexual people are incredibly valid. Pan people are valid. Queer people, umbrella term, are incredibly valid, right? And sexuality is fluid. And if JoJo Siwa now wants to date a man, or Fletcher now wants to date a man, that's absolutely fine. Do not misconstrue what I'm saying here. The problem is, these are two artists, two individuals that are so predominant in the gay, queer community and have done amazing things for awareness of said community. And when they're both now leaning into, it isn't just, you know, I kissed a boy and I liked it, or I want to date a boy now with JoJo and Fletcher, and that's what pisses me off. It's like they're both rebranding their brands. You know, Fletcher is now rebranding with these new kind of music video styles, and you know, they're very much so leaning more so towards like a straighter audience, which is not what she built her career off of. And JoJo Siwa is now kind of, you know, dropping a lot of the gay stuff and is kind of, you know, in her wholesome era with, you know, her man. And the problem, in my opinion, with this is that there is a conversation already going on in the world, and specifically in America, when it comes to gay people and queer people. And under the current administration, you know, it's a very, very, very hard time for a lot of queer gay people. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. And this homophobic rhetoric that we constantly get, you know, shoved down our throats is, you haven't met the right of the opposite sex yet. You know what I mean? If you're a lesbian, well, you just haven't met the right man yet. If you're a gay boy, you just haven't met the right woman to settle down with. This is the rhetoric that gay people face. And JoJo Siwa and Fletcher have now completely rebranded themselves to basically fit that narrative, which, if that applies to them, that's fine. But when you are such a predominant figure in said community and you're coming out during Pride Month and doing these fucking rebrands, in my opinion, it's so fucking... I'm gonna say it. I find it really fucking disgusting. Because it's tactical, they know that they're going to get attention, and they know that they're going to get a surplus of engagement on social media, because they now have a bunch of conservatives being like, oh, I'm so glad you came back to your senses, or this is exactly what we were saying. You know, it just took finding the right one. And you're JoJo Siwa and Fletcher that have built communities around queerness and gayness, and again, whether you identify with it or not anymore, your brands have been creating a safe space for those in said community. And now when you do these, and again, it's not just them coming out and say it, it is a rebrand. It's a rebrand to show you that they're now in their straight era. You know what I mean? It really is dangerous. And I saw these TikToks that I just wanted to play to you. They're literally just people talking. But it was, I'm glad people are talking about this online, because it really is pissing me off. Okay, so here's the first one, right? It literally is just someone sitting in their car, so we're just going to listen to it. This is from Victoria Capek, I think.
That aren't fully formed yet, so I'm just speaking as I'm thinking about them. I'm chronically online, and literally like minutes ago, Fletcher posted that she's coming out with a new album, and she's released a song, and it's called Boy, and it's the story about how she's been in hiding for 6 months because at New Year's Eve, she kissed a boy and she fell in love with a boy.
She's been in hiding. Again, further perpetrates this narrative that we're all under one big secret right now, that we're actually all fucking straight.
And she knows that it's not the song or the story that we wanted to hear. We, as in like the queer women's community. have a lot of thoughts I have to sort through with the public coming forward of like JoJo Siwa and Fletcher coming out and dating men. And I don't think the issue is not that they are dating a man at all. That's not the issue.
Remember that.
To be continued. I think as a queer woman who looked up to these public figures, Fletcher and JoJo Siwa, and how like proudly and boldly they were queer women, whether that was lesbian, bisexual, whatever, dating a man doesn't make them not a queer woman. I'm going to be very, very clear about that. They can be whatever they want to be. But unfortunately, in 2025, especially under the current administration, I think that this can be used as ammunition to say, oh, see, there's still a chance. You just haven't met the right boy yet, right? Like, you might be a gay woman because you just haven't met the right man to calm you down. And I say that language because of the particular instance with JoJo and Fletcher. Continued. Both of these queer women were thought of as a little bit wild and crazy, especially in regards to their woman-loving woman relationships, the Becky So Hot of it all, and the JoJo Siwa Disney dates, and cheating on their
I said this in my last video. If you need an engine that fucking big, you have a micro penis.
binary partner. And now that they're with this boy, it is a kind of soft love, and they're portraying that they are calm now, and
that is such a great point in terms of when they're in their queerness bag. And again, this does not say that Fletcher or JoJo are not queer. The conversation here is about why are celebrities rebranding to force straight relationships down our throats who were predominantly always showing us how queer they are. Because again, it perpetrates this narrative that you just haven't found the right one yet, and we're all fucking lying, right? I find that point from this creator, Victoria, really, really, really great, which is, you know, JoJo specifically was, you know, wild and crazy when she was in these woman-loving woman relationships. But now, you know, she's settling down because she's finally met a man. And it's,
are using language such as this sweet boy and loving, and that they've changed, and they are finding like the real version of them on the inside. And I think that my issue with that is that it perpetuates the idea that,
again, if that's their journey, that's their journey, but it has such a knock-on effect to the entire community, and if you spent so many years profiting off of said community, you should be a little bit sensitive about how your actions affect them moving forward, specifically in Pride Month. Which, by the way, in the current times, it seems like nobody wants to stand behind fucking Pride Month anyway, because it's being fucking erased in front of us.
Lesbian or any kind of woman-loving woman relationship is meant to be wild and crazy L-word style kind of drama. Even if that's not their intention, that is their impact, at least from my view.
Mine
and
too.
I think that will be a similar view to the opposing side. Like I said, I don't have a lot of fully formed thoughts about this yet. Maybe this is a moment that I need to check my own biases and potential phobias. Bi women, pan women, queer women, women on any part of the LGBTQ plus spectrum, you are valid in your sexuality, and sexuality is a fluid thing. I think
I agree with that, and I'm aware that in making this video, my comments are going to be people calling me biphobic or, you know, not understanding pansexual or whatever like that. Please know that that is not my fucking intention. My intention is saying the impact that this has on bisexual people, on pansexual people, on gay people, on lesbians is insane. Again, this is not just them coming out, and saying, you know, that they now love men and they're not lesbians or queer anymore. That's not what's happening here. The impact is rebranding to this softer image now that you've finally found a boy. Okay.
Excited and getting my hopes up about the Chaperone, Renee Rapp, Doechii, like, era of coming forward and being proudly a queer woman and having such powerful idols to look up to in that space. than to have it swing the other way. I'm just scared. I'm scared that we're going to lose that representation that we only had for such a brief period of time. And maybe that's just something I need to sort through, but I wonder if anyone else has feelings like this too.
I thought that was a great point about how we entered an era of, you know, people being very open about their queerness, and it seems that we are going back on that, and I guess it's just trying of the times. So anyways, someone commented, my problem with Fletcher is that she's now calling herself Kari, which is her real name, and now she's talking about how she's showing us who she truly is. Then who was she all those years previous? Wow. So, okay, I have one more video that I want to play from this creator called Maddie.
Why are JoJo, Siwa, and Fletcher resonating more with their government names while they date men? Like, why is JoJo now Joelle? And now Fletcher is signing off everything as Carrie. Obviously, her name's always been Carrie, but in the past, she doesn't sign everything off as Carrie. Also, why are you dropping boy merch in Pride Month, which has been like a drought for merch in the first place? No companies are producing merch at the fuck all in their stores. And so you, as like a predominantly queer artist, are deciding to drop merch called boy? Now, in this climate? The fuck? Anyway, Joelle and Carrie, have a great Pride Month. Thank you. Why are JoJo, Siwa...
This is really interesting. There's actually... I didn't realize there was 2 of those videos that I had saved. Let me just look right now. JoJo, Siwa, and Fletcher. I'm, like, wondering if this is a bigger conversation than what I think it is. Hold on. Yeah, there's, like, a bunch of videos in here as well. Okay, wait. There's another one here. I haven't watched this one, actually. See, I'm just really intrigued by this conversation.
I just saw
this is from a creator called Lindsay.
You're talking about how Fletcher is releasing a song about being in love with a man, and it's very confusing, especially with the whole JoJo Siwa of it all, of these very out and loud queer women dating men. And let me just say this really quick. Bisexuality is very valid and very real, and it does not make them not queer women. However, I think the difference in the way that they are talking about men, like JoJo's talking about her boyfriend and Fletcher is talking about her boyfriend, versus the way that they treated women in the past, like, it's very telling that they are, like, when you genuinely care and love women in a very real and true fashion, like, you're true to it, not new to it, okay? You don't talk about women the way they do. And I'm sorry that I don't understand how we were not upset with Fletcher earlier. Her Becky So Hot thing was just misogyny. Like, it was pure misogyny. I remember getting in a fight with my ex about it because I was like, that song is ass. Like, that song sucks. And I know Becky's come out and talked about, like, the impact it's had on her. But it was, like, the shittiest song ever. Like, it's steeped in misogyny. And so it didn't feel to me like Fletcher's queerness was similar at all to mine. And JoJo's very young and she's been in the spotlight for so long, but her queerness also had this performative aspect. And that's not to say that both of these women are not attracted to women. I'm not saying that. And again, I'm not saying that they're not bisexual. I understand that. I'm saying the level of respect that they are giving to the men they're dating versus the women that they've dated in the past
publicly
is telling. It's telling. And there is a difference when you truly, genuinely care for women and have decentered men. The way that you view women and talk about women is very different. And I can see clearly that that's not happened for either of them. And it's disappointing. Also, I just want to put this here, but again, I'm not going to have a lot of patience for people in the comments that are telling me that I'm invalidating bisexuality. I'm not. I'm speaking to you as a lesbian person who is an equal part of the community, telling you how this experience makes me feel as somebody who does not have the option to date men and is solely interested, attracted to, and loving women. That is a valid thing for me to be able to speak on and talk about my experience on without it being biphobia. Okay? And one last thing, but especially during this climate, if you are able to date men and be passing in public, that is a privilege, and it is something to be acknowledged. It's like, it is a privilege to not be othered in public. I just saw
Wow, this is interesting. Yeah, there's a conversation. I can't wait to dive into that further. And maybe I'll make a follow-up video on this. Again, I'm terrified for the fucking comments on this because it's gonna be like, oh my god, Adam's being biphobic. I'm like, girl, please. Shut up. All right, I would love to know your opinion on this. Again, I just think it's dangerous to, you know, rebrand in this light, but be phrasing it about how you finally find yourself and this is the true version of you when you have been the representation that even straight people see about the queer community, and they already don't fucking believe us in the current administration. So when you say things like this, it's their way of being like, oh, there we go. There we go. And it just be a little bit more cautious with your platform. And again, selling merch that says like boy and all like this. Oh, and JoJo just, oh God. Let me know your opinion of this. I'll talk to you later. Again, I'm not trying to be insensitive here. Please. I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.